Hi, and welcome back. Now we're going to get into the mechanics of moving our joints. And where we're going to begin with is with our fingers and our palms. Now under normal circumstances when I'm doing this exercise is I'll keep my palms and fingers aligned with my wrist and my elbow so that they're essentially aligned up in a neutral position, at least as much as possible. But for demonstrative purposes, I'm going to hold my hands up so you can at least begin to see what I'm actually doing. So we're going to begin with the fingers, and the physical movement begins by curling the top knuckle, the middle knuckle, and the other knuckle, rounding our fingers and our thumb into the center of the palm into a gentle fist position. And then we reverse by slowly unwinding one joint at a time, spreading our fingers wide, and then imagine that you're reaching out through your fingertips to elongate your fingers and your thumb. And then again, we start the slow curl inwards to a gentle fist, and then begin to reach out, expand, reaching out through our fingertips, spreading our fingers wide, and then a slow, deliberate curling, one knuckle, one joint at a time, and then reversing, spreading our fingers wide, reaching out through our fingertips. This can be a very challenging exercise to do slowly. But the purpose of going slow is to give ourselves the opportunity to really feel in each of these joints. And now to integrate the breath, I'm going to bring my arms down, my palms facing upward. And we begin by inhaling as we bring our fingers in, rounding through one joint at a time to a gentle fist. And then we begin to exhale, reaching out, rolling back through the fingers one joint at a time, spreading our fingers wide and reaching out through the tips of our fingers and thumbs. Inhaling a living gold color into our fingers and our palms. Exhaling, letting go of stress and tension, letting it go deep in the earth. And slowly inhaling and exhaling, letting the breath set the pace, fully inhaling and fully exhaling. Now one of the variations is that you can begin by doing one finger at a time, coming in as you inhale. And then as we exhale, we unwind and reverse that order. Slowly, one finger at a time. Again, it can be a little bit challenging. It's just a different way to connect and mobilize the joints in your fingers and palms. Let's bring it in one more time. Inhaling. Exhaling. Reaching, stretching, and relax. Bring your hands back to your side. Find your Wuji posture, pause and feel. Do you notice the difference in your hands now? We'll move on to the wrists. And we begin with just a simple movement. Opening the tops of our wrists and then opening the bottoms of our wrists. Simple movement allowing the wrist to lead and the fingers and palm will follow. A slow, gentle movement, much like an ocean wave, where the wave rises and falls. We integrate the breath by inhaling and exhaling. Inhaling a living gold into the wrists, creating space. Exhaling, releasing tension, stress, deep into the earth. We'll go once more up and down. And now as we finish our exhale, we're going to bring our palms to face one another. Continue the movement up and down, inhaling and exhaling. We're now focused on the sides of our wrists. We're continuing to breathe into the wrist, creating space. Exhaling, letting go of any tension or stress we may be feeling. Just release it deep into the earth. Going slowly, allowing the breath to set the pace. Focusing on the sides of our wrists, looking for the edges, but not necessarily pushing past. The motion should be pain-free. Not only reaching in with our breath into the wrists, but also with our intention and our focus, focusing on the movement of our wrist. We'll go once more up and down. And now we'll move on to the box. And so our palms now are brought to about shoulder height. Palms are facing down. And we begin by opening the outer edge of our wrists, the undersides of our wrists, the inner edge of our wrists, and the top of our wrists. And so now this box movement is essentially a combination of the first two movements that we had done. Combining the movements into an organized pattern, we inhale and exhale. Inhale, living gold into the wrists, and exhale. We're letting go of tension and stress. Inhale and exhale. And when you're ready now, we can begin rounding the corner slightly so that it becomes more of an oval shaped pattern. Again, we're still focused on the same areas of our wrist, but now by rounding the corners, we're getting in a little bit deeper. Feeling a subtle difference in the movement and the muscles that we're engaging. Again, we're inhaling a living gold into the wrists, creating space. Exhaling, letting go of stress and tension. And we'll go once more in this direction. And now we'll reverse direction. So we begin by inhaling and exhaling. And so we're starting first with the box. And when you get more comfortable with this movement, we can begin rounding the corners. Inhaling a living gold. Exhaling, letting go of anything that doesn't serve us. Just release it. Imagine that you're releasing it deep into the earth. Focus on the movement within the wrists themselves. Let the wrists lead. The fingers will follow. And we'll go once more in this direction. Settle back into Wuji. Pause and feel. Thank you very much for your attention. This concludes the first video. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.